Okay, that should be live. So hello everybody, welcome if you're watching this live or archived. And yes, Star Trek Adventures, Season 1, Episode 10, The Perishable Absconsion. So, Part 2, no less. With me here are some very special friends. So, say hello.
Hello.
Thank you. I have some more friends here as well.
Oh, which ones? Have we met them?
You three.
You might have. Not sure though.
Yeah, I'm not
Sound
sure.
vaguely
Then.
familiar.
I think so.
Okay, so
Anyway.
hello, Room's Bath.
Yes.
No, it is Absconsion with an S. And Sundays no stream. Well, if CangoFango does stream on Sunday, then I will stream as well if we continue to do that. Hello, VGR. Welcome. Yes, you arrived just in time. And there we are. So, would you like to introduce yourselves and your characters, please?
If we're going from top to bottom, I shall start. So, yes. Hello, everyone. I'm CangoFango, and I play Doviah Drenlich Twossock, the communications officer on the USS Pathos, who is a human.
I am Dodrebur, or Dodd, and I play Captain Shiun of the USS Pathos, who is a Vulcan.
I am Rogue, Rogue. I play Nero. I play the flight controller.
Thank you very much. So, who would like to do the recap?
Dunno.
Okay, I guess I'll do it again. One more time won't hurt me, probably. So, last time, we had about a 2-week time jump from the end of last episode, where you basically been sticking around the debris field, keeping an eye on it, starting to run experiments, gathering more data, things like that. And we started last session with... Actually, hold on, am I using the... Is this the microphone that I'm using? I think it is, yes. Okay.
It seems so.
Just had to make sure. Yes. We started with the Yorktown arriving, and a certain Commodore Cartwright arriving as well. You invited him over, had a nice chat. He was quite impressed with you and your crew. And there may have been, well, it probably was, considering that he pretty much admitted, some personal agenda to him replacing you there. However, that was not explored further. You began patrolling the Romulan neutral zone, further space north, essentially, out of Federation space. So you're currently not within Federation space. And after some time of patrolling, you encountered a distress signal. Following that up, you found a small-ish freighter that was venting plasma. There was toxic atmosphere inside, toxic gases. One crewman, a woman who you still don't know her name, asking for help in beaming her over. There was some complications. You almost lost her because, as it turns out, she had a special low bay crystal, and that kind of acts like almost like an energy sponge in a way when the transporter tries to rematerialize that pattern of the crystal.
Mm-hmm.
And it also seems likely that that is what caused the problems with her engines in the first place. But at the moment, she is still unconscious, but expected to make a full recovery and wake up sometime soon. In the meantime, You took some distance from the SS Perishable, sent a probe over, well, past it, ascertaining that the engines have shut down and the cores shut down. The atmosphere is slowly being cleaned up by the life support systems. However, that will take a good few hours until it is breathable. So if you want to go over before then, you're gonna have to take EV suits. Or I guess just breathing masks as well.
Mm-hmm.
In passing, the probe also showed that there is no other life on board, no organic matter. Also, there was one of the cargo bays had a shielded pod in it, which the sensors in the probe couldn't penetrate. And just as it was leaving range, it detected motion on board. Something was moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that is where we last left off. Yes? Or did I forget anything?
Yep.
I think that's pretty much all of
That
it.
was the last thing we did.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so it's good to have you all in chat.
Mm-hmm.
So, wait, didn't the infamous Trekker want to join as well for this one? Maybe you didn't catch up yet. Anyway, ready? Carol? Spec? Probably. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Alright.
what do people want to do? The probe has left sensor range, and you have 3 momentum stored up. Also, you have 237 more probes.
Cool. So, obviously, Zaveru's leading a team to check that out.
To check what out specifically do you mean?
To figure out, to check what happened with the power, whatever thing that happened.
You mean on the Pathos with the transporter systems? Or do you mean
No.
over on the other ship?
On the freighter,
Okay, yes, sure.
the thing that caused the original distress call.
Mm-hmm.
Since we scanned to make sure it's not about to explode, and we can safely go on there with EV suits, and I think we will go full EV suits because we don't know what's in the shielded containers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Also, you don't know if there aren't any automated defense systems on board.
Interesting thing for you to mention, but it's a freighter, so I doubt it.
That is reasonable.
Eliza's ready to go.
Alright. So, we'll have Zaveru. We should have security. And
I'll probably. I don't know. I should
another
yeah.
engineer, and then medical or science, I think.
Yeah, I'll stay on the bridge then.
Yeah, Shiun's staying.
Mm-hmm. Are you sending Westaker over?
Should I send Westaker over? We did detect movement at the last second, so sure.
Okay.
We'll send in the heavy duty security for this one.
Okay, so you're sending Westaker, Zaveru's going, and who else? do players want to pick supporting characters for this? Or
Oh yeah.
We
I'll go for
have
that.
engineering support I can take.
Mm-hmm.
And someone could take a secondary security and medical or science.
I think
Would be
someone who scans might be useful.
with the one who scans like to join us.
Depends on who's gonna be playing him. Yes. Yes, I shall attend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we got left?
We can take a secondary security, or a medical officer, or we'd have to create a new support character.
Okay, I guess I'll have to take Doc.
Dr. Tom Robin. Interesting
Yes.
choice.
Alright.
Also interesting name. So,
Alright.
aside from the EV suits and scanning equipment and basic engineering equipment stuff, is there any special pieces of equipment that you would like to take with you?
Torches.
Always torches. To Ribby's taking his medical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Torches. Always torches.
Of course. They're kind of built into the EV suit.
Isn't it on the side of the helmet?
I think so. I'm not sure exactly, but I think that could be either that or wrist mounted.
The engineer probably take some
I'm
tools.
not sure.
Well,
Yes,
the
of
engineers
course.
have general engineering things.
Yeah, general engineering tools, yes. I was asking for specific equipment, like for example, transport enhancers, like the things you can put down, or for example,
You realize it's hard to request specific
Yeah,
equipment
but you could
when we
say-
don't know what equipment
True.
exists.
True, but you could say, I want something that does this. And then I can say, well, yeah, we can make like a tool that does that, for example.
Well, but that could be anything. I could say I want a flamethrower.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it's
that'll
good for
cost
the
you
damn
threat.
job.
That'll cost you threat.
A lot of threat.
I mean, if you can't think of
we
anything
know-
now, then...
We know there was an engine problem. We know might be losing plasma from the warp engines, holes emitting a lot of heat. I just don't know what equipment would be appropriate for that. I literally could not guess.
Okay, well then let's just go. Let's just go.
That's good.
And if you need a specialized thing, you can always get it with an advantage. So, you gather on
I think we
the...
had the same problem in the Saturday campaign when you asked us if we wanted that, when you said that we needed specialized equipment to look at things. We were just like,
Yeah,
we have no idea what equipment we would use.
true. I've got to stop doing that, really. I've got to stop doing that. Anyway, so you gather, and Westacre is going through his checklist, and after he goes through the items, you step onto the transporter pad in your EV suits, looking totally not ridiculous, and you get beamed over, which means one of the momentum evaporates.
Sure.
So, you transport in on the transporter pad on the other side. The lighting is on, although looks a bit dim. Smoke fills the rooms. There are some charred bits on the paneling, where it looks like there might have been flames or plasma or something coming out that has since been extinguished or shut off. And yes, you are here. Gravity feels like Earth normal, and everything sounds quite silent. There are no explosions or grind or nothing, no machinery. It sounds like everything's off. Hello, Robin. So, what do you want to do? Westacre is taking a look around the transport room first, going over to the console.
So, what's the plan then?
He says, the plan is to 1, figure out what moved, 2, figure out what happened to the engines, and 3, figure out if we need to repair anything.
I assume pairing is a big yes.
Okay, takes a look around, says, it certainly looks like it. Goes over.
So
Huh?
you said everything seems to be off?
Everything except for the lights. Like, you can't hear the hum of the warp core, there's no machinery, nothing. It's silent, except the lights are on. And the smoke is slowly moving through the life support systems, which are probably running on auxiliary power or something like that.
Okay. Can we find a console to check internal sensors?
Yes. So Westacre's at the transporter console, looking at stuff there. But if you can look out in the corridor. There might be something there.
All right. Zular will look out in the corridor.
Okay. You approach the doors. The door does not open for you. However, there's a button you can press to open the door. Do you press the button?
I press the button.
You press the button, the door opens, creaks a little as it glides open. The corridor is as smoke-filled as the transporter room. So you can kind of see the shafts of light from the ceiling-mounted lights. And there is a console over in a little alcove in the corridor. So you've got to walk a little bit of ways to get there. You walk to the console?
I do, like, shout in. Checking sensors. Be right back.
Right. Actually, that's a good idea. Everybody, make sure to let everybody else know what you're doing.
Right, so
If it's relevant.
I scan the area.
Okay. So,
What else will I do?
go ahead. I'm gonna set the difficulty.
I'd like to practice my whittling.
I'm gonna set the difficulty to 1 at this point. Complication range also 1. Science plus reason. Or if you're scanning for specifically the structure of the ship and how things are going, like that, then it would be engineering plus reason. Or engineering plus insight, I guess, would also work. Roomspot says, you press the button and a trapdoor opens. The most deadly freighter, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it is very, very close to the Romulan neutral zone, like really, almost dangerously close. So...
I'll do science plus insight.
Go ahead.
Complicated one.
Mhm.
Momentum, how much do we have?
We have 2.
Ah, yeah. Sure. Would this count as EVA?
No.
No. Yeah. It is in the EV suit, but
Your
radiation
EV
perhaps?
suit is not contributing
Yes,
to your
That
scan.
is true. Radiation focus? I don't know.
Now, if this
I'll
was
just-
like an athletics thing, and you were rolling to see how well you perform athletically with the EV suit on, then EVA might work if you're used to those bulky things. But in this case, no.
Sure, I'll just roll. There we are.
Huh.
3.
Congratulations. So,
Alright.
we're at 4
Thank you.
momentum.
Great.
So, do we know the layout of this ship yet?
Yes, you do. So the scan reveals basically the same things that the probe revealed. You get a little bit more detailed information on in terms of the internal damage. Most of the systems are actually not damaged. There are some plasma conduits that have ruptured, but those have been isolated before the warp core was shut down. Most of this is intact. You detect no life signs, and at this point, also no movement. Of course, excluding the party. If you scanned Westacre, I'm not detecting any life signs.
Yeah, that's it. So, why am I here again?
Because the player is not here, who actually is supposed to play him. That's...
Who knows?
So,
You might be
there's no
useful.
You
life-
decided medical officer instead of security. That's why we're here.
By the way, since you are now reintroducing those supporting characters,
Right.
you do get to update them. So, also please, when you choose what to update, make a note of it.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
right, you head to the console. The console, at first it's dark. None of the little light bulbs are lit. The display's off, but as you approach, the lights come on. It looks like this is a general purpose interface with the computer.
Sorry, what was that?
I said the llama was very happy. No.
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 I got enough that I know it wasn't that.
No. The console is off as you approach, but then as you get close, the little light bulbs turn on. This appears to be a general interface with the computer. I know you're busy upgrading the supporting character, but
Yeah, sorry, I was pulling up
Yeah.
the reference that
It's
has
fine.
talents on it.
it's fine.
So check internal sensors.
Mm-hmm.
Just I assume it would confirm the same general things that Gwissom just found out.
Probably. So, this is going to be a difficulty 0 task, but you can roll if you want to. It would be engineering plus control.
Yeah, I'll make that roll.
Sure, good luck.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Ah,
Wow.
2. So we're at max.
Two
Good, good.
sevens.
Nice.
Oh,
What a
Nice.
What a lucky roll.
Okay.
Nice.
You manage to access the ship's systems, the computer specifically, internal sensors. You check the logs. It looks like everything was going fine, and then for some reason a crew member, doesn't say what crew member, presumably the only one that you know was on board, went into some of the the engineering access areas. A moving robot thing, maybe. Who knows, Roomsmart? Maybe. Probably. So, went into the access tubes, back to where the impulse manifolds are. Stayed there for a time, and then things started going wrong. The engines started overheating, the plasma pressure started to rise, EPS conduits ruptured. Shortly after that, a distress call was sent, and that is the log continues on a little bit after that, up to the point where it registers that the Pathos has entered near the area, and then the log ends, presumably when the systems were shut down.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you want to check on the console?
There's something I'd like to look up, but I'm not. Does the Federation have laws against search and seizure? Without probable cause?
I'm sure they don't.
Well, yes. But the thing is that this would count as an emergency situation. So, in order to protect this ship, you could reasonably access more stuff or go through things like the cargo mapper, probably. But then again, you're not in Federation space at this point. You're in no man's land, basically. So you're probably fine, but it's a bit of a grey area.
Well, we're assuming that there's only one crew member in this ship. First officer?
I guess, yeah, probably crew logs, people who were on the ship but aren't anymore, people,
yeah, that's a good one.
people who might have visited recently, I don't know.
Okay, so if you want to get that, that's going to cost you 1 momentum as obtain information.
May I?
Sure.
Okay, I hear no objections. So, there are, you find no indications of any other crew. You do find a record of people who visited the ship, but the last visitor was about a week and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And there are no records of names or anything like that, only that there were people, how many there were, what time they arrived and what time they left.
Huh. Well, that's helpful.
Well, yeah, you know that there are no other crew here.
And what's the name of the current crew?
Well, I'm glad someone asked.
It'd be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So, the name of the current crew, the one, is a certain Miss Catherine Stadholz.
Interesting.
No, it's not Carter.
But it didn't say anything.
That
I was
would have
eating.
been most curious, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yes.
So,
While you're doing that, what is... Sorry, did you want something more from that?
most recent cargo pickup, I think,
Okay. So...
might be relevant.
Sure. Since the previous thing wasn't that helpful, I'm going to give you this for the same momentum. So, the most recent cargo pickup was a load of self-sealing stem bolts, of course, from a from some system that's in the neutral zone. But then again, this is a civilian vessel, not Starfleet. So, yeah.
Always stem bolts.
It is
Always
always,
stem bolts.
always.
Strange.
One moment. There you go.
It's like the only trade in stem bolts.
Alright, I think with that, Zular will return to the group.
Mm-hmm. So,
yes.
no, continue, please. Please continue.
Yeah. Looks like unless the logs are being deceptive, it's either self-sabotage or some very strange mistake.
Westaker says, interesting. I've tried gaining access to the transporter logs, but the last time they were used was about a week and a half ago. Before now, of course.
Yeah, fits the records I found.
So, where should we go next?
Well, there's a problem with the engines, so we should probably evaluate that. I'm sure we
Right.
can trust you to keep an eye out.
Of course. Let's go there then. Main engineering. Although, perhaps some of us should go to the bridge.
I'll go to the bridge.
Right.
Okay.
Doctor, you go with him.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Sure. Also, out of character, does the freighter have a shuttle bay?
It does not, but it does have a semi-permanently docked small craft that's kind of in line with the ship's hull.
Right, and that's never been used.
You don't know.
You'd have to check.
Mm-hmm. And does it have escape pods, I'm guessing?
Probably.
Were any of those used? Do we know if any are missing?
I mean, if you want to check for missing escape pods, that's a thing you can do. It's not just something that you know right away.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so we'll head to the bridge and after that, perhaps.
Okay. So.
But we do know that the crew hasn't changed in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yes.
I mean, that is true.
So, Doctor and other Doctor. Both of you are heading to the bridge, correct? Yes?
What do you mean, other Doctor?
Well, we've got Dr. Tom Robin and Yarly Gwisson,
Uh-huh.
who might be a doctor. Who knows?
Since when?
I don't know, you might have a doctorate. Who knows?
I apparently have
just
a couple of
science.
doctorates.
Alright, I'm just science, so yeah, let's go to the bridge.
Okay. So, you make your way to the bridge. Now this freighter it's not big enough to have turbolifts or anything like that. It's just
Oh, lovely.
it's two parallel corridors with the systems in the middle and then the cargo bays on the outside of both of them. You walk forward through the smoke, which still doesn't look like it's gotten any better in the
You should
small
probably
amount of
invent
time
this
that
out
you've
at
been
some
here.
point.
Well, the life support systems are slowly filtering it. But if you want to get rid of it quickly, yes, you can vent it out, probably. So, you eventually make it to the bridge. The doors here look much sturdier than the other ones. They essentially look like blast doors. Press the buttons. They grind open. And look around. There is a chair in the middle. Consoles around, a few more chairs around the consoles. In total, there are like 4 chairs, counting the captain's chair. And a view screen in the middle, a quite small one. There are kind of diagonal metal support beams going off from the corner where the walls meet the floor and up to the ceiling. And the consoles are on. The lights are on. So, what do you two want to do?
I sit in the captain's seat and look at the captain's logs, because there's only one person in, so I assume.
So, you sit down in the captain's chair, and the armrest, which on the Pathos there are some buttons there to do things like do red alert or yellow, or do things. Also, for some reason, to launch like a pod, which comes up in one episode. Anyway, but here there are so many more buttons. Like on the top side, on the side of it, on the other armrest as well, and it looks like those buttons and controls have been kind of almost jury-rigged in place. Like they're clearly cutouts where metal plates have been set in and cables coming out, things like that.
Just a fun coincidence.
Yeah.
As you were saying that, I was reading the description for the jury rig talent.
Oh! Well, that's great.
Yeah, I need to think of some medical ones at some point.
Kango, I told you
Okay.
that mind reading powers work over the internet. So,
Yeah.
what do you want to do? You sit down in the captain's chair. You've got all these buttons. What do you want to do?
Stupid people. Try and attempt to somewhat figure out what it is.
Okay. I'm going to need an engineering plus insight check or an engineering plus reason check. Difficulty 1.
Wow, this is so not gonna go right.
It's only a difficulty 1.
We'll see about that. She'll be fine.
In well, I don't know which one. Right, not really. Nah. Right, okay, I think that's just a muck around thing. Let's go. 1.
1. That was only difficulty 1, so that's good.
Oh,
Oh, and a 19.
no.
Well, we're
This is how my day's gonna turn out. Right.
I mean, that's the norm for us on STP, isn't it?
I mean, yes.
No, it's wrong for me.
Just about on the edge.
Oh,
So-
I am not living life on the edge, please.
You look around, look at how the buttons and things are arranged, and some of them have helpful labels, others don't. Most of them don't. It looks like someone took the most important controls from the different consoles and wired them into this one chair, so that you can fly the ship, albeit not very good, not very well, but you can. You've got flight controls there. You can activate the shields. You can activate rudimentary sensors. You've got communications tucked around the back where you can set in a frequency and press a button. It's not very efficient by a long shot, but you've got the functionality there.
I think we're glad that Nero isn't here, because god damn it.
So what do you want to do now that you've kind of figured out what the buttons do?
Just
Press all of them at once.
no. Just wonder what the mindset of this person is. Just like,
Okay. While you're doing that, what is Wisdom doing?
Wisdom. I'm not sure if it'll be much use to scan the bridge.
Depends what you're scanning for.
Hmm.
Ghosts?
I don't know if they'd show up though. Hmm. So, is there also like a first officer's log thing? If they've been keeping logs,
I'm
like,
assuming-
like captain's log.
I'm assuming that the information that you've gathered has been shared up to this point, in which case you would know that there's only one crew. There's only that woman, so there is no first
So not
officer.
from before. So nothing from.
You
before.
know nothing from before that.
Okay, that's fine. So, I'll just.
I assume the button's there,
Yes, but I'll just
Well, the
scan
captain's
for.
log. if there is one.
Yeah, I think I'll just scan for general things that are abnormal, I suppose. Like, I don't know.
Okay, I mean, you.
Not
Okay,
sure
so
how much we'll get from that.
So you're You don't need to roll. If you were scanning for something specific, but since you're just saying just general stuff, you do a scan.
Mhm.
You gather no new information from this place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you
Sure.
said Tom, you said that you wanted to look for if there's a button to access captain's logs. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you find a button that looks like it's probably there to record captain's logs, but you don't find one that would play them back here.
I'm gonna contact.
That's a good idea.
The engineer. Who's the engineer?
Do you mean Zavaru?
Yeah, that's the engineer. Yeah.
He's currently on his way to the engine room with the other two.
Yeah. I contact
Okay.
the engineer.
Okay.
Which engineer? The chief engineer or the regular engineer?
The engineer that's on the ship with us.
There are two.
They're both on the ship with us.
Do you mean Dodd's supporting character, or do you mean Maxwell Zavaru, the chief engineer?
Dodd character.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
Yeah. So I call that character up.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get an answer?
Probably yes.
Yeah.
When you're finished with what you're doing, do you think you could come to the bridge? Looks like they went one hell of a mess of the captain's chair. And when I mean a mess, I mean a mess.
What kind of mess?
Everything's linked to everything. Kind of mess.
What?
Yeah. Apparently you can fly it, record things, probably shields. Probably even microwave something too.
You mean from a single console?
From the chair.
From the chair?
Both. Yeah.
Ah. It's probably just something they worked in because it's a solo crew member. I mean,
Maybe. But I
why
don't get
run
it.
around the whole bridge trying to run the ship?
True, but wouldn't it be better if it was at the non-captain's chair? Well, it's a big mess anyway. Might need to... Not sure if I should touch anything.
It's not a priority.
Okay.
You know, how civilians run their ship design is not our business, really.
True. But I don't think we can get the not sure where to play the captain's log though. If there is one.
Probably have better luck going directly to the computer system. Better interface.
Well, I'll leave you to it. We'll probably end up going that way.
Alright.
Okay. So, might as well stick with the others now. You're making your way to the rear of the ship. Again, blast doors open up. There's a lot of smoke in here. The smoke in here is really quite thick. Like, you can literally only see like maybe 2 or 3 meters in front of you. You can kind of see the vague glow of lights flashing. Using your tricorder, you get the dimensions of the room. It's not that big. And you see on your tricorder different rough outlines of consoles and equipment and things like that. And yeah, so other than that, there's nothing specifically in this room other than the consoles and equipment that's supposed to be here. And you, of course. So, Severu says, I bet this stuff smells horrible.
Most likely.
Right. Now, I'm gonna go over here, check to see if I can find the main impulse manifold, because it looks like that's where the problem probably started. Could you go and see what the status of the ship's other systems are?
Sure. But, I did see the location that the crew member went to check on the problem that they were in when the problem started. And I can point that out.
Right, yes. Sure. Right, you go check that out while I check the systems from here. So, do you do that?
Yeah, I do that.
So basically what he's saying is you're leaving the two non-player characters alone. So you've got no information on what happens there, if something happens there.
Unless I comms them.
That's risky.
But what if they are just found dead, then... anyway.
I mean, they have the chief security officer. I think they're safer than I am.
Okay, so, anyway. You find You find the hatch that's in the wall where that crew member went in. Gotta kind of manually pull down the lever, open it up, and you can crawl in, should you choose to do so. Again, smoke-filled. The vague glow of different lights they go and lead into the distance. And you start making your way that way, yes?
Yep.
Sus face. Okay, so takes you a good while. Eventually, as you start getting close to that location, you start to notice more and more plasma fire damage. When you get to that specific point, it is one of the two access points to the impulse manifolds, which is where the plasma gets distributed, basically. So, looking around, it's a lot of damage here. If you want to figure out more, that's going to be a roll. We've got 4 momentum.
Alright.
So, I would say there's going to be engineering plus reason, probably. It's a good one.
Engineering plus reason. Focus and power systems? Does that count here?
Sure.
Sure. Cool. I would like to use one of those for momentum, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Especially since I just took cautious engineering.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So, by the way, the difficulty of this, I'm going to set to 1, but the more you overshoot it, the more details you get.
Yeah.
Plus treason.
All right.
Engineering plus treason. That's funny.
Treason?
Yeah.
What? What treason
Now that
already?
would be in the mirror dimension.
Ah.
That had
Yes.
all the treason.
Yes.
Well,
It actually had surprisingly little that happened on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really surprisingly
Off-screen
little.
treason.
Yeah.
well, I don't know. I did
all
leave the first officer in the middle of nowhere.
True.
There's just treason all around the actual plot.
Ooh, 2 successes.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations. So,
I could roll the 0, but I'd rather not risk rolling complication. So.
Sure.
okay.
Yeah.
So you've generated 1 back.
Nice.
It looks
Nothing
like...
lost, nothing gained in terms of momentum.
Yeah. So, after conducting a quite extensive survey of the area, you've come to the conclusion that the trouble definitely started here. And judging by how the EPS system is ruptured, you guess that some sort of either some sort of strong electromagnetic field or force field, probably a strong electromagnetic field, kind of disrupted the plasma, causing it to kind of get backed up, causing certain parts to overheat, and then causing ruptures. Now, this general area does usually have strong electromagnetic fields because the plasma gets routed through the impulse manifolds here. If something were to have distorted those fields, that could have easily led to this sort of damage. But what could have done that? That's another question.
What might have done such a thing? I wonder.
Yes, VGR. They were attacked by crystal.
Yep.
No, not the
Apparently.
crystalline entity. That's a different thing.
No, totally ended it then. The badge.
So, as you're doing that, other people are doing other stuff. We don't know what they're doing because there is no player character there. But they do need to roll still. 1 moment. Okay.
Let's sort my lucky email out
Right. So,
on Monday.
okay. While they're doing that, what is Gwissom and Robin doing?
We probably should go and find the computer systems. If we, I don't think we can get anything information from here.
Sure.
Maybe one of you should stay on the bridge just to keep an eye on things.
On what?
You know, just to make sure
Just-
that no one is with anyone,
Yeah, just
except for the 2 NPCs.
Just make up some excuse for the party to split up even more. I think I'm gonna stay with
Okay.
with Robin for now.
So,
Yeah.
actually, that's a good point. 1 moment. Which of you is higher ranking?
I'm Lieutenant.
I am Ensign, so you.
So, Robin gets to decide what to do. So, Robin, what you doing?
Yep. We're I guess we're going to the computer or system. Do we know where the computer system is?
Yes, you know where it is.
Yes, we'll go there.
Sure,
Okay.
I follow.
So, walk along the corridor, but halfway down the ship, there is, between those two parallel corridors, you enter a room which is the computer core, and you can see just these closet-sized metal blocks with all sorts of lamps and switches on them that are all interconnected with wires. And there is an access console there. The lights on most of it are off. Only one of the cabinets, for want of a better word, has some of the lights on.
I suppose we'll try and access it.
Okay. As you approach the console, you start pressing buttons. The rest of the lights come on as well. What would you like to do?
Might get guess I'll try and look up on any of the logs.
Okay. I'm going to need engineering plus insight, and I'm going to set the difficulty to 1.
Okay. What we got on with momentum?
We've got 3, because the scene changed.
Ugh. We'll give it a go. There's only 1, isn't it?
Yes, it is only 1.
Yes. Alright. Yeah. So insight and engineering, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go. Oh,
1.
1.
There you go. What was
Nice.
the 0?
That's a 0.
Oh, 12.
Ah, 12.
Ah, that's fine. That is
Okay.
fine.
So,
Ugh, not bad.
you managed to access it. You managed to access the logs up to about a couple of months back, and the first thing you notice is that the logs are quite sporadic. You are used to the logs being very regular on board a Federation starship, but here it's more like there's a log here, then maybe the next day there's one, then there's a gap of a couple of weeks, and then there are like 5 on one day, and then there's another gap, and yeah. So you look into some of the recent ones, and it's very mundane stuff, like things like they encountered a Romulan patrol, everything was fine, the ship was searched, but everything's fine, cargo was picked up, nothing out of the ordinary.
God damn it.
Meanwhile, what's Glissom doing, if anything?
If I'm just stay with Tom Robin, I'll probably. And what am I instructed to do? I'm not sure what to do on myself. I think I wanted to do was check for the escape pods, perhaps.
Yeah, you can do that.
Or that other craft.
Mm-hmm.
If that's been when.
Yeah, you can do that if you want to.
Sure. I'll do that then.
Okay. You're going to have to... Actually, if you... Yeah, you can do that from here.
Okay. Great.
Okay, you check. The escape pods are here. There are only 4 of them. And the craft is also here. I'm going to need an engineering plus insight check to see difficulty 1 to see if you find out whether the craft has been used or not recently.
Sure. That's fine. Starship recognition?
No.
Yarly Gwissom. Sure. There we are.
I
A 19.
1. Okay.
A 19 and a 3.
Okay. Great. So...
I'm saying nothing.
1 than me.
So... you find out that as far back as the computer's records go, which is a few months, neither the escape pods nor that
Craft.
yes, nor that small craft have been used.
Right. That's good to know. So keep that as a log then.
Okay. Now, while you're doing that, what is... sorry, you've got Zular, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What is Zular doing?
Zolar's gonna contact Zaveru.
Mm-hmm. You try contacting this moment, get no response. Another moment passes. And then you'd... yes. Yes, what did you find out?
Yeah. Access point to the impulse manifolds. Seems like might have been distortion in the EM fields. EPS ruptured. Not sure what would have caused it, but the crew member was definitely here when it happened.
Well, that confirms it. It was the crystal. That fool. How could she have such a rare artifact without knowing what it did? Anyway, thank you. You better make your way back here. We've just about managed to find out the extent of the damage. It appears as though we're gonna have to replace some parts. It's not gonna take a long time, luckily. It seems as though the critical areas are undamaged.
There's just one question, really, is, why were they here in the first place? There was nothing wrong with the engines before they came here.
Well, if my theory is correct, or should I say the captain's theory is correct, then the Lobe crystal that she had around her neck, she must have had it around her neck when she went down to where you are, and that must have interfered with the power systems and caused the damage in the first place. If we're right about this, then it was a very unfortunate accident.
Well, I guess so, but, I mean, as far as I know, she's no engineer, so why would she just be randomly checking?
Well, I suppose we'll just have to ask her when she wakes up.
Sure.
Unless you have something else you would like to do.
Nah. Neither ignorance or who knows why someone would sabotage their own ship.
Who knows? Right, I'll see you back in my engineering. Severo out. Okay, so what do you want to do?
Head back.
Okay, you head back. Without being interrupted, you come crawling out of that tube. The door, as you open it from the inside, you go out, close the door. The smoke has been cleared a little bit more. You can see a little bit more in here now. See some of the lights and some of the consoles are on. And Westaker turns to you and says, "Ah, good. Right, I suppose we've pretty much done all we can here for the moment. Mr. Zaveru has a list of things that we could help repairs with. Now, what else do we need to do here?" Yes, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought. So I'll say no. Okay.
Okay, sure. Right, now.
Oh, wait.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
What about that movement? Either of you find anything that might have spontaneously moved?
No. Do we know where... And Zaveru says, yes, I've got the coordinates where the probe detected it. It was near one of the cargo bays.
We should probably make sure there's nothing weird going on there.
Yes, you're right. I'll contact the others. It's over. Says, there's Westacre to Dr. Robin. How are your investigations going?
We've had to go to the computer room, but the captain logs are all over the place.
Right. Well,
literally all over the place.
Get what you think is important, and then meet us outside of Cargo Bay 3. We're investigating the movement we detected. I would like everyone to be there. Okay? Sure, if that's all you've got to say. So?
Yeah, I grab all the information what's necessary. I'm not sure what further.
Sure.
Whatever is interesting.
And then, so is there anything that you want to do, Kango?
I'm not sure. For the moment, no.
Okay, so you will skip ahead to when you meet up at Cargo Bay 3.
Sure.
Yes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, you meet up there. The smoke in the meantime has been cleared a significant amount. You approach, the cargo bay doors are large. Again, blast doors. And Ostiga says, right, open the doors. As he looks at Zular.
Open the doors.
Okay, you open the doors. The doors open. There's a the doors open. Inside, quite sizable space. There are two things that you notice immediately. One of them is a 3 by 3 by 3 meter metal cube with a door on one side that is currently closed. It looks essentially like a big safe, basically. The other thing is, you notice floating about 2 feet off the ground is a cylindrical shape that has sort of pincer-like metal arms one on either side, and seemingly different lights all over the surface of it, and what looks like antennae coming out the top.
Can I scan them? That is my plan, at least.
Okay.
Okay.
Did I hear that right?
Did I hear that right?
What did you
What do
hear?
you think you heard?
I don't know, I didn't hear him much.
I want to scan.
What are you scanning?
Oh, the thing with antennas.
Oh.
Sure. You're gonna have to get a little closer.
And the safe, perhaps.
You're gonna have to get a little closer to scan it.
I ask the others, shall I proceed further in? Shall I close in to scan the objects?
Westacre gives a nod.
I
I just now like the idea of a little tiny bot being the captain.
That would be funny.
yes.
Oh, please. Don't
So, yeah,
tell
I
Robin
close
that. He'll
in.
do it.
I close in further.
Robin will
and
literally do it. He's already gone crazy with the fate stuff. Ah.
Okay, you're getting closer.
Well, he hasn't gone crazy with the fate stuff. He's just theoretically gone crazy with the fate stuff.
That's what I meant.
So, you're getting close to a scan. It's going to be engineering plus either insight or reason. In this case, I'm going to set difficulty to 2.
Right. Complication range 1.
No, complication range also 2.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Sure. So what focus would apply? Is it? Does it have radiation or?
No.
Xenobiology, no. Anthropology, no. I'll just roll. I'll just straight up roll. How much momentum do we have?
At this point, we have 2.
Ah, that's fine then. Sure, I'll just roll. No,
Okay.
apparently.
Oh god.
So,
World, mate.
huh.
What are you
You
doing?
scan the floating cylinder with mechanical pincer-like arms, and you come to the conclusion that it is an automaton, a robot, if you will. You detect electric motors, circuitry, basic anti-grav unit, a very basic computer system, but nothing more.
Right.
It does not appear to react to you in any way as you approach. Yes, room's bath.
Well, so. Huh.
By the way,
yeah.
By the way, it is the way that it's standing. It is currently facing the box, just so you have a clear picture of the scene. Who knows VGR? Who knows VGR?
At the
Well,
moment,
I haven't got the stream up.
what's it doing here, though?
Probably helping with the running of the ship.
I mean,
Maybe.
it probably was. Not sure if it still is. Is the anti-grav unit on, or is
Yes.
the robot on?
Yes, to both.
Oh.
Otherwise,
Alright.
otherwise it wouldn't be floating there.
Oh, I see. Oh yeah, of course.
Ask it to something. What is your? Oh god damn it! What was it? Is it function or? No, it doesn't have one.
Yeah, function works.
Yes, I'll do that when Dodd's back.
I'm here.
Or
All right.
Oh, no.
Hello.
Good.
is it function or is it I can't think of it.
So
Right, go on.
I've gone closer and scanned it, and
What
I
is
say,
your programming? Reveal your secrets at once.
So I turn to the others and say,
Is it
it seems to be.
designation?
It seems to be an automaton of some kind, a robot, if you will. I'll attempt to ask it a question. I turn back to the robot.
Okay.
I say, automaton, what is your function?
There's a response. Says, this unit's function is to execute orders. What a surprise. What a great plot twist that was.
What were the automaton? What are the last orders you were given?
Says, record unavailable.
Right.
And as you're starting to interact with it now, There's a beeping coming from various parts of it, as it seems to now have been activated a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be better if one of you guys, engineers, at least, like, I don't know, figure out where its data's gone?
You could try.
So what did you say?
Yeah.
Where it's what was
I
gone?
could try to
Data.
see
Oh,
if
data.
there's some form of
Oh yeah.
automated data transfer.
Yeah, if
Sure.
you want to.
Sure.
You're gonna have to open some of its panels, though.
Maybe ask it first.
I'm a brain surgeon, not a robotic, miss.
Not a robotic engineer. I'm a doctor, not a robotic engineer.
That's the
Robotic
one.
engineer or
Right.
robotics engineer? Those are two different things.
Robotics.
So first, I'm gonna search for a thing to make sure it doesn't like move around for a bit and interfere with what I'm doing on the internals.
Put it on
See if
idle.
I can do that.
Well, it doesn't seem to be active at the moment. You can ask it. You can try to give it a command if you want to. Or you can ask it
Hey,
something.
who do you take orders from?
Orders are accepted from the crew, from Starfleet personnel, from Romulan security officers.
Sounds like most people.
It's not most people, really. This is space. There are a lot of people who are not in Starfleet and not part of Romulan security.
Well.
Anyway. But it is most of the people we interact with.
Yes, I mean, in the area, like most of the local people anyway. More or less.
Alright. I give some sort of Starfleet designation and order it to stand by.
Okay. It acknowledges the order.
Alright. So let's check for that data transfer stuff.
Okay. So you want to know what happened to the data.
Mhm.
Okay. This is going to be engineering plus reason. I'm going to set the difficulty to 2. Complication range 1. What happened to data? Yes.
Focuses in computers and manufacturing. Most likely to be relevant here.
Computers, sure.
Alright. Computers it is. How much momentum are we at?
Currently on 2.
2.
You could always give me threat
I'm
if
not
you want
sure
to.
this roll is worth it. I'll just do a straight roll. If I get it, I get it. I'm not super concerned about it. Look at that, 3.
Congratulations. Okay, so you've generated 1 momentum.
Damn.
Nice.
Okay.
Lovely.
So, and the focus mattered.
Yeah.
Great.
So,
2 and a
Even
5.
better.
you managed to access the programming, figure out it doesn't look like there's any sort of data transfer. It looks like the records were wiped by the robot itself.
Hmm.
Doesn't seem to have programming for regular data wipes, or does it seem like this was probably something it was commanded to do?
That would cost momentum.
That would be would be a question for the automaton itself.
Well, I earned 1 momentum. I have the right to spend it. I'm gonna spend it.
Okay. So, even though it's possible that this is a regular thing that it does, the amount of storage space here, like this would usually be done as either as a way to save on storage, or if this were a military thing where it would get rid of sensitive information that might fall into the wrong hands, that sort of thing. But given the amount of storage here and the nature of where this is, you're fairly certain that this is the result of a command. Although both are technically possible.
And when exactly did this, when's the first record it has?
There are no records.
No, none. Okay. All right. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, what are its capabilities?
Okay.
Like, is it just arms, or does it have other things?
So, it has... Okay. Given that you've got plenty of time to look this thing over, you don't need to roll for it. It looks like the way... Okay, so it has 2 arms, and the way that its hands are made, it looks like it can either carry things around or operate consoles or do basic physical interactions with things. There are no signs of any other form of more advanced technology. The most advanced technology is the anti-grav unit that enables its movement. But other than that, there's not much else. It's essentially a basic mechanical crewman, essentially, for most intents and purposes.
Huh. Interesting.
So, why would a solo crew member of a freighter, or Starfleet personnel, or Romulan security order what's basically a grunt bot to dump its records?
That information is unknown.
Thank you.
I'm gonna look at the cargo.
Okay. So what
I mean, look at the cargo. I mean, look at the cargo.
What cargo do you mean? There's lots of cargo on board here, or do you mean the metal box?
Just cargo. I'm just gonna go through the cargo.
Okay.
While doing that, I'm gonna look
Yeah.
through the cargo.
Okay. Sure.
I mean, look for the cargo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any secret things?
Okay. So I need you to give me a check. It probably would be... Let's see. How are you approaching this? Are you approaching it from an engineering perspective or a security perspective? Either would do. Just either security or engineering plus insight.
It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna do it as.
Okay. And the difficulty, by the way, is 0. So anything you generate is gonna... Either it's gonna show you more stuff that was hidden, or it's gonna just be momentum.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
momentum.
Doesn't really matter.
Oh, but it does.
Oh yeah. But in way of rolling, just don't get. Yeah, there you go. I knew that was in there.
2 14s.
Right.
We had 2 7s and now we've got 2 14s. Interesting.
Yeah, it's just no.
Nice.
It's just really
Okay,
low.
well, it was a difficulty 0 anyway. So you look through the while they're doing that stuff with the robot, you're looking through the different cargo bays, and you find all sorts of basically just stuff. Things, mostly things that make machines work, different parts, spare parts, raw resources, nothing of particular great value, except of course the metal box, which yes, is the thing that the probe's sensors couldn't penetrate.
Ooh. I guess we're looking at that little monkey. There's nothing.
So while that's happening, is there anything that Gwissem would like to do?
Hey, Grayson, do some more searching. Okay,
Are there any more questions for the robot?
None that it could answer.
I'm not sure then. I think I'll probably stand by for now.
Okay.
Stand by for action.
Haha, yes. So, what do people want to do here? Before we go back and leave, beam back over onto the Pathos.
I
Go on.
Given that we now know what moved, I don't think we have probable cause to search their cargo in any way whatsoever. So I think we just kind of have to head back. Like, it's suspicious, but I think until we've spoken to the crew member and gotten like some further indication that they're doing something intentionally weird, I don't think we can
Weird, or
search.
just... I don't think weird would be enough. I think it would have to be stronger
Well, yeah.
than that.
I was just searching for a word that would not be repeating suspicious,
Yeah.
and the first one I came
How
up
about-
with weird.
How about concerning?
Sure.
Sure. Why not?
So, back over to the Pathos then? Or does anyone else have stuff they want to do here?
What do I do with this box?
Leave it. It's not ours.
Westaker says, yes. And besides, if whatever is in there requires that much shielding, it's probably better if we leave it over here anyways. Even if we could take it.
Cool.
Right. Let's get back, everybody.
Okay.
Go back to the transporter pad. Dematerialize. Rematerialize back on the Pathos.
Great.
Get to take off your EV suits. Much nicer. You can move around freely again.
Yes.
And you can see clearly. It's not so smoky
Hazed
everywhere.
over.
So, what do
Yeah.
you want to do? Or do you want to do anything specific, or do you just want to write up reports and send them to the captain, or
Okay, go back
Whatever.
and report up and send it.
I'll do that, yes.
okay?
Yeah,
So you
just reports.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now, little time passes. Enough time for all the information to be exchanged.
Evenly distributed.
Yes. And, well, not necessarily evenly, because the information would flow more heavily towards the captain, I would assume.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We're not telling everyone on the ship.
Anyway, after some amount of time, is there anything you would like to do before Miss Tadholes wakes up?
I can't think of anything at the moment.
Oh, pity.
I can't think of anything that would be appropriate at this time.
You can only think of very inappropriate things at this time.
Well, yeah, sure. Part of me still wants to go back on that ship and scan the hell out of that safe. But, you know.
Yeah. So, okay. Rode, do you have anything you would like to do before she wakes up?
Which character? Any of them?
Any of them.
Okay. Well, Nero will just be reading.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Nero just reads or listens.
And Robin? Is there anything that Robin's gonna do? Or except for the reports and stuff, which already happened?
Probably probably look up on the medical stuff, check through that, list up use.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Check medical equipment and stuff like that, and
do his job.
Basically, just do the stuff that you normally do. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Continue
Okay,
doctoring.
sure. So, then let's skip ahead to.
Or I think the
Yes.
captain, after reading those reports, would look up Ms. Stadholt's records, see if there was any past history.
I was wondering when somebody would do that. My guess was as soon as you
Gotta
found
do a
out her
background
name.
check.
My guess was as soon as you found out her name, but sure.
Yeah.
So, this, I'm gonna say, security plus insight assisted by the ship's command plus computers. Or I get, well, yeah, command plus, well, sure, command plus computers, yes. That makes the most sense to me, I think. Like it has the more extensive database for things, which would be useful for such a ship. The difficulty, I'm going to set to 3.
That's
and the
a lot.
complication range to 5! No. So, yeah, it's difficulty 3.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well.
Interesting.
Thank you.
How much momentum are we at?
Currently on 1.
And that will probably disappear when we go to the scene to check in on...
Yep.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and use that then.
Okay.
Sure.
If that's okay with everyone.
Yeah.
Alright. And, I don't really have any focuses that apply, so...
Politics. No.
But I think I'd, yeah. Well, let's just go. Let's just see what happens.
Okay.
Good luck.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, well there we are. An 11, an 11, and a 3.
Okay.
So there we go.
Okay.
Now, Cango,
Sure.
would you like to roll for the ship?
Why not?
Well, I could think of several reasons, but... no.
Well,
Nah.
I'm not doing it because I roll badly.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
I'll just do it.
command plus computers. It's an assistance die.
Sure. Switch that over. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. 3.
Okay,
So it's 1.
so you've generated a momentum. So now, either you spend it on obtain information, or it's gonna be gone in a minute.
All right.
So
Well, let's see what our initial information is.
no, let's do it the other way around first this time. No, okay. So you look through the computer's data banks. It's quite hard to find any information about this individual. There is no direct interaction with the Federation. However, the ship's name, the SS Perishable, does get mentioned in a handful of reports, mostly colonies that barter for supplies. Not necessarily Federation colonies, but other colonies from other powers that are either allied with the Federation or have some sort of data exchange or things like that. The ship is known to operate within Romulan space across into no man's land, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And you do a little bit more digging, and you do find one instance where she was directly referenced. This was when what's it called? One moment. Yeah, well, anyway, this was during diplomatic talks between the First Federation and the Federation. She was one of several freighters that were hired to transport some mineral resources from one world to another. There is no evidence of any criminal background or anything like that. Do you have a question?
Well, well, now I have suspicions, but I'm not sure. Now I have a theory, but it's kind of a long shot, and I don't know how I would get any more data to support it anyway at this time.
I mean, do you want to mention the theory? If it's true, then you'd have proof that you came up with it.
Sure. Sure, okay. It would be a really weird thing to do, but it feels a little too intentional. and having that very small association with diplomatic talks between the First Federation and the Federation makes me feel kind of like this is a distraction.
Perhaps.
I don't know why at this point.
The question is,
But it
is Shiun going to listen to her feelings or to her logic?
Oh.
Shiun will keep the suspicion in mind as she questions her.
Okay. We've got some time left, so if that's everything, the momentum will evaporate and we will carry on boldly forward with 0 momentum into the next scene.
Might as well.
Okay. So, you're on the bridge
Mm-hmm.
and you hear the sound of the intercom. Press the button on your captain's chair. Hear someone saying, "Bridge, this is sickbay. Our guest has woken up and she has quite the appetite."
Noted.
You want to be
Well.
notified.
Yes. Ensure she has nothing to complain about, and I'll be there shortly.
Very well. So, who are you going to take? Ghost, bus? No.
Not quite yet. Maybe on the freighter later.
Who are you going to take?
Yeah, that'll be Saturday.
Probably Doviah,
Okay.
Mhm.
maybe Westacre,
Sure.
and probably someone who has enough engineering know-how
Ah, Nero.
to
Okay.
know if she's... Yeah, sure.
Sure. Sure. Which I guess means that Jay Baylor's now in charge of the bridge. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you make your way down to sickbay. I'm assuming you're going to use the turbo lift.
Yes.
Okay. So you use the turbo lift. You get there quite quickly. Walk in. She's currently sitting up in one of the med beds. She's sort of blankets over. Again, she's a little bit overweight and kind of a little scruffy looking. She's got like a tablet over her legs where you've just got these dishes of colored cubes and red celery and other TOS foods. And she's just digging into it. Doesn't seem to have noticed you entering.
Excuse me, Miss Stutholtz.
Oh yes. Yes. Oh, Captain. Oh, thank you so much. I was told about your heroics in saving me. I'm very, very grateful. Please, what is the status of my ship?
It is damaged. We have evaluated the amount of repairs required, and we certainly can assist. However, we do have some questions regarding how it happened. Perhaps you could start by describing what you experienced in the moment.
Well, she's about to start talking, and she catches her throat. She takes a glass of what looks like orange juice, drinks a bit, sets it down. Well, I was making an ordinary run when I noticed a strange sound coming from the ship's systems. I asked Sam what it could be. He said it might be something to do with the impulse engines, and so I went and have a look. I don't usually go back there a lot. Usually I get repairs and checkups done when I'm finishing up a run, but I thought I might as well do it myself. The sound was quite annoying, and I don't know what happened. I went in there, and then the EPS conduit started glowing and started smoking, started cracking. I got out of there as soon as I could, but then EPS fire started and smoke filled the room, and I just had enough energy to get out a distress signal, and then I must have fainted. I woke up here.
For clarity, who or what are you referring to as Sam?
My robot. He's quite useful. He's not military grade, of course. It's just basic automaton.
Indeed.
One question, if... Sorry, Captain.
Do you have any engineering background?
I'm afraid not. No. Not as such. I mean, if I had, then I probably wouldn't have almost killed myself.
What then made you think that you were qualified to assess the damage of the ship's internal systems?
Well, I was bored, to be honest. I didn't think that just having a look at it could cause that much damage. I didn't mess around with it or anything like that. I just had a look at it.
STA insight check.
Okay. So, it's going to be security plus insight.
How about
Or-
sense motive?
I guess it could also be... command plus insight. That might also work, I suppose.
I would love to roll command plus insight.
Okay.
I wonder why.
I wonder. Alright. Okay. Let's see. 1.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm gonna buy some dice here.
Sure.
Let's see how this goes. Usually this doesn't end well for me if I do this, but let's see.
What? Excuse me?
That's...
kind of a roll is that?
Sure. It doesn't go well.
Especially
Yeah.
after I said that this doesn't usually end well.
Well, I'm glad I didn't waste any resources buying dice myself.
Oh.
Because it would have achieved nothing.
Okay.
Damn. What god did you bribe this time?
Trelane. If that makes sense to you. Look him up later. So, she seems...
Here it is.
So, there's the link. Thank you, Kango.
Oh.
So, she seems scared and shocked, and she seems quite genuine.
And the crystal you're wearing,
Yes.
how did you acquire it?
Well, after I completed a shipment of dilithium, the station I delivered it to, the customer didn't quite have enough money to pay me, and so we settled on a trade. I was told that it is quite rare. Is that not true?
Certainly, around here in the Federation, it is. Did you ask any questions about it?
Well, I did ask about its value, and I was told that it would be worth at least 200,000 credits. I did ask several other traders on the station, and they confirmed the value of it.
I see. Well, it would seem that your crystal, which I'm looking up the name of, Lobe. Your Lobe, it is a Lobe crystal, which interferes with electromagnetic fields. In fact, it almost prevented us from evacuating you from your ship when you were in danger.
She kind of reaches over, like gasps, reaches over, and as she does so, she kind of knocks over the glass of what looks like orange juice. Sorry about the mess. What? In what way? Like,
well,
I'm afraid this is all going over my head a bit.
Yes. Well, it seems that it drains power like a sponge, which in transport usually means the signal is lost. However, we were able to overcome that problem to get you here, fortunately. However, it does seem that when you went into a very sensitive area of the ship with strong electromagnetic fields, its interference caused severe damage.
Oh, how stupid of me. How... I am so grateful that you were close by. If not, then I don't think I would have made it to an escape pod. Oh yes. Bye, VGR. We're gonna wrap up soon as well. Probably just...
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. Bye.
Very well.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, I do have one more question.
Yes.
Just an oddity we noticed while
Oddity?
investigating the status of your ship. Your robot, Sam,
Yes.
it moved while we were scanning the ship, so we naturally investigated what it was. However, it seems that it was ordered to wipe its records. Recently enough that it had no record of you asking it about this problem.
Oh, yes, of course. I suppose Sam must have activated to try to repair some of the damage when it detected it. As for the wipe, I did give it the command to, well, a few months back when the loneliness was getting to me, I did find a personality emulation core that I fitted onto Sam. Let's just say it did not work out that well. I couldn't really remove it either, so I programmed it that after every major operation had been completed, it would wipe its banks to kind of forget it. Please, do I have to go into details? Yes, you do. Please go on.
And I don't suppose any of this personality emulation might cause it to, well, neglect to mention certain dangers.
You think that Sam tried to murder me?
I am ruling nothing out at this point, but it is a concern when one interferes with the programming of any form of intelligence.
I would have never even thought of that, but I suppose since you mention it, as soon as I'll go back over, I'll deactivate Sam and have him checked out when I get to the next starport.
Well, since your ship needs some repairs in order to get going, in any case, perhaps we could take a look.
Oh, would you? Oh, that would be great.
Shiun has no ulterior motives whatsoever for wanting to take a look at this herself.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Very well. And just to be safe, there is one piece of strange cargo on your ship. Is it a potential risk of any sort?
No. It is a collection. I am delivering ancient artifacts from Earth, I believe. Quite valuable, but not of any danger. If you would like, I could.
An interesting storage container.
Yes, it is not mine. If you would like, I can share my manifest with you.
That would be appreciated.
Yes.
Right.
Now, Doviah wanted to say something about a quarter of an hour ago.
Yes, I had one more question, Captain, if you don't have any more.
Go on.
Just one about the robot. You called him Sam. Is that a nickname or is that an abbreviation for something?
No, it's just a nickname.
Alright.
I find that giving things names helps.
Right, I can see that. Yeah, and I turn back to the captain to see if... Yeah.
So, do you have anything further you would like to ask her now, or should we end the scene and the session?
I think we can end it there.
Sure.
Okay. Unless, Rogue, you have something you want to do before we end the session?
Who?
You.
No, I'm good. No. No, I'm good.
Okay. So, with that, I guess that's that. So, thank you all very much for watching. This stream will be archived on YouTube. And I guess until next time. Bye-bye.
Yes, that's good to
Until
know.
next time.
Bye, Risbeth.
Bye.
Bye everyone. Thanks for the interesting story and good night. Yes, I agree with that. Yes, good night.
Also, it's worth pointing out that the story is the thing that the players come up with. The plot is the thing that I come up with. So,
Yes.
if it's,
Well, it wasn't
Yes.
addressed to you specifically, but yeah. That is
no,
true.
I meant that just as if you say story,
Yes.
you might think that that's addressed to me, but actually it's addressed
Yeah.
more to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's everybody.
Yes.
Anyway, good night. Bye-bye.
It's everybody.
That's true. Bye.